Before we jump into what exactly is Crawford Peak, Crawford Mountain, Crawford, whatever you want to call it, let's get a little bit of orientation going on here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here is the South Sound. Okay, Tumwater, Olympia, Lacey. You got that? You know where you live, right? Nisqually, you know, there's Henderson Inlet, Bud Inlet, Mud Bay, Taunton Inlet, blah, 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 all that stuff. Okay, right. And down here we have Tenino and Rainier. You know, I kind of wish they had county lines on this. This is Google, just Google Maps inside of Google's browser. Okay. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's got this cool feature, which some of you know I really like. There's McIntosh Lake and Bruce's house right underneath 7. Okay, so we zoom in there a little bit and see Bruce. You go to Bruce's house, you go over here apparently. I've never been there, but, you know, I research. Tenino, right? Rainier, okay. There's 2 ways to get to Crawford Peak. Crawford Peak is right here. It's right where this line stops, right? And you can kind of tell, generally speaking, when you see a road stop like that in the middle of nowhere, that's Google's way of saying it's on top of a hill because there's nowhere else to go. And sure enough, there it is. Okay, so let's back off from there. Okay, there's a couple different ways to get here. Once again, here's McIntosh Lake. There's this road over here. Let's turn it back to map view so you can see. This road over here is, what do they call that? They call that Churchill Road, okay? So you go through here, and you go zigzagging around in here, and there's a couple of gates in there. And then you go up through here, and you got this weird little intersection. And then this switchback is actually on the ridge that takes you up to the peak, right? Okay? And I went up there with Fred. And, wow, why can I remember Fred and Ken's names? I can remember one or the other, but they never come to mind. So yeah, Fred and Ken went up there to do some work to, you know, like they've done before, and they were kind enough to invite others like me along who were interested. I was interested, and this was my trip. Now the reason I'm panning away from the peak here, so Crawford Peak is here. This is the ridge that you go along to get up to the peak, and down here is a valley, and this is another way to get there. You can go down this road, and it connects you up with Johnson Creek Road right here, okay? And Johnson Creek Road, yeah, it's a fun road if you got a motorcycle. We'll just leave it at that, okay? But the reason I brought you here is because here on Crawford Mountain, Crawford Peak, whatever you want to call it, you can see a lot of things, and inside of Google Maps you can get an idea of what all you can see. So we'll turn back on the satellite view, and we'll zoom right in on Crawford Peak here. And you'll say to yourself, well, that's not very impressive. Go ahead, I can hear you. That's not very impressive. No, it isn't. And if I turn it a little bit, then the tower doesn't look stupid. There's a couple other sites up here. Apparently, this is where the Tacoma Radio Club has something, 2-meter thing. One of them, I guess, Jeremy has told me one of these is Burlington Northern, and I forget what the other ones are. But, you know, they're things, okay? They're real. They exist. People are paying for them. So the reason I do this is because I like to do this. And Google will take the contours, which are recorded in corresponding, oh, sorry about that, which are corresponding to all of these maps, and distort the image based on the contours. And so now we're looking northwest from Crawford Peak. This is Tenino over here, okay? And we can spin it around to the west. Now we're looking at the peak, which is southwest from Crawford, okay? And the image fills in. See, the image is filling in as Google, you know, realizes I have a demand to see it. This up here near the horizon will get clearer. We can see what is basically the steam plant, but since this is a distortion of a flat image, you don't see anything sticking up. I could drag my mouse over there and we would sort of fly over to it. But let's swing around to the, well, yeah, let's swing around to the south. There you can kind of see the ridge we drive up, right? There's the ridge we drive up when we get past that one switchback. There's that switchback where you either go down to the road that connects up to Skookumchuck, or you go this way down through this weird you know, all this stuff, and you end up on that road that takes you into Tenino. Okay, whatever. We're not here for that. Let's get back. All right, zooming in and out. All right, let's get back to the peak and do the spinning aroundy thing that I wanted to do, show you the panorama. Okay, so there's South County, Southeast County, a lot of hills, not that interesting. There's Mount Rainier and the ridge immediately to the east of Crawford Peak. Yeah, you're seeing Crawford Peak is just a flat image because it's just distorting the image, but it's a pretty good way to get an idea of what line of sight is to things, because it is distorting everything in the field of view according to contour lines. So there's Mount Rainier. It's filling it in. I'm running my mouth here so that it gets time to fill in Mount Rainier. And so I will spin things around a little bit more counterclockwise to the north, and you'll see there's Rainier up there, the town of Rainier, okay? And there's the peaks, and what is that, Baker way up there? I can't remember the name of that mountain. I could zoom to it, and it would be like flying really fast over Puget Sound, but we don't have time for that. And there's McIntosh Lake down there. Bruce's house is somewhere down in here. So Bruce is kind of trying to get over a little tiny lump right there. Let's see what that lump is. What is that lump? Oh, that's just the road. So yeah, Bruce's house is going to be in here somewhere. If we wanted to see it, it's probably that one right there. Right, Bruce? Anyway, right. So we're going to go back to where we were. Get up on top of the peak and see. I lost it. Where am I? Oh my goodness. There I am. Now I'm on the peak. Well, yeah, he does kind of have line of sight to it. He's just barely there. That's his place there. Anyway, so let's continue to pan. There's Offutt Lake. Google has kindly labeled it for us. That gives you a little bit of an idea where we are. And this thing is not recognizing my pan tilt thing here. So yeah, so there you go. There's an idea. There's the whole valley laid out. There's I-5 and 99 in there and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, I wanted to do that so that you got an idea. First off, you know how cool Google Maps is when you push your control button and you start spinning things around and all that sort of stuff. But that's kind of nice. But let's talk about the trip and what is up there. So that's what's coming up next. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so here we are at Crawford Mountain with Fred and Ken, Fred K7SIX and Ken K7TAG. Off there in the distance you can see Puget Sound and Nisqually Reach. Down there at the bottom of the screen you see McIntosh Lake, and I guess down over the hill there a little bit is where you'd find Bruce's house. And so let's do a little zooming here and see how grainy things get. So that's, I'm guessing, Olympia water area, Bud Inlet maybe. And you can see Olympics way off in the background. And there's that lady that spins around singing on the hill, The Sound of Music. Oh no, that's not her. Let's see. And spin around and get a little zoomy outy thing going on here. Now we're looking off to the east. That would be Rainier down. I'm going to turn. Okay, Rainier down there. So it gives you an idea what's going on. All right, so let's look around at what this looks like here. There's the road we came in on. There's the horse we came in on. There's a tower. There's a couple of others. I don't know what these are. They got little short towers. I'm sure somebody can fill me in on who owns those. I don't know, maybe it's even listed there. But this is the actual FCC registered tower site. Very securely locked and gated and all that stuff. There's the generator, intakes and exhausts. And beyond it there is the propane We're assuming that the big building on the right there is for TCOM secure communications. We're not allowed in there because you know there's communications about private information and public safety, that sort of thing. We're allowed in this other building over here, which I have video of, but I'm gonna bypass the door and look at what's underneath, protected by all of these catwalks and ice deflecting, I don't know, there's a name for those. Inside of this building is also the Mix 96 backup transmitter. That's what some of this really big heliax is here. And it's all pretty nice. It's very bright and hard to see, so I'm going to turn around over here. Maybe I can get some video of this that's not in a bright cloudy background. I don't know what that is. Somebody's going to have to inform me. Kind of a standalone little cabinet with its own little guard for falling ice. It's just a little tower like one you would put up in your yard, you know, these standard 2-inch, 2.5-inch bolts, you know. I'm sure I've got a wrench for those somewhere, right? Thoroughly grounded. The grounding structures on these things is just fascinating. The classes that Jeremy tells me you have to take to understand bonding, electrical bonding and static bonding, and or for dissipating static, I mean. So every one of these feet will have several connections to the earth. There's one there. And let's see, a whole bunch of stuff coming out of the public safety building. As we got out of the car, we made a phone call to David Taylor at TCOM to inform him that we would be opening this door in case he got some alarm. And they were talking about doing landscaping. I thought he was joking at first, but apparently these weeds grow, so they have somebody come up and fix them. But there is an overview of things. Okay, now I've moved. There's where I was a minute ago. Wanted to get a little better view of that tower. Although all the ORS antennas are back around on the other side of that. But now we're looking south at Centralia area. And I'm guessing that's the steam plant there. Should be right on the other side of Skookumchuck. And Skookumchuck would be just down there. So let's see if we can got a little bit of a breeze, but not much. Pretty nice for today. Just the tiniest bit chilly here at the end of May. I'm going to walk around a little bit where we can see a little further to the west. Really quite something. There's some properties down there. This is generally speaking the way we came up. I mean, the ridge goes down that way, but we came up through the valley there. In fact, we probably passed by that, that road right there. Focusing on my finger, that's useful. Oh, look at that. Well, mean, all I had to do was touch the screen and it would come alive here. Alright, so now you can look at it and see with the exposure adjusted. So that's looking west, and that's that road we came in on to Nino is over there. Actually, I suppose it's way over there, but well, let's change and go take a look off of that little peak right there and see what we can see. This is actually the highest peak, the highest little knoll on Crawford. There you can see the main antenna. Here's these other two. There's the dog that follows me everywhere in the woods. This is looking south. And that's, I guess we're not going to get a really good view right here. Maybe I'll trudge through this greenery, which is just alive with all kinds of bugs, and see if there's a view over there. Alright, yeah, that paid off. So there you can see a little bit of McIntosh Lake down behind those trees right there. Can you? Yeah, maybe not. Now we're looking off in the direction of Olympia, just by that snag. And I imagine that's Capitol Peak there on the other side of that tree. There's the valley we came up through. Let's get that down to where there's some better exposure. And this is the southwest side of Crawford. So yeah, you're way the heck up here. See why even Fort Lewis would want to have some radio equipment up here. Oh, there you go. There's Nisqually Reach through there. That's probably Anderson Island there. Alright, enough of the trees. So there you go, just making a little bit of a recording of what's up on Crawford. Up here to do a little bit of repair. There's the look at the tower with a good gray background, so you can see the stacked dipole, you can see the, well, you can see everything that matters as far as the ORS repeater goes. And so we're here in this building, and already opened it up. Called TCOM, told them not to panic over the alarm that we inevitably will set off. My understanding is we're down there where that's open. But you can get a view of the back side of it. Come around the other way. Bunch of those batteries that I like to purchase. These must be.
Okay, you got your handheld on?
No frequencies
Yep.
on there.
Which one do you want me to bring up, Mike? The UHF, just listen. I'm manually keying the TX.
Okay, hang on a minute, I'll get it down to. Okay, key it now. Yep, it's up.
Okay, try keying it up. Yeah, I had keyed.
Yep,
Did you let up?
yep.
It's still keyed. Oh,
There's
there
the
you go.
drop.
Key again. Let's see if it's staying keyed too long. Okay. Yeah, it dropped right away on that
Yeah.
one. Well, let's see what the power output looks like.
If you look at the inspection report on that back there.
Oh.
Well, that says 87.
Yep. Built in Huntsville, Alabama for MCI.
Okay. So what all is that covering? This,
Well, that was the shelter and everything that was in it at the time that came up for MCI.
right.
Now, when we first got moved over here, we were in a little shelter in a compound that's right next to this.
Oh,
And
okay.
the first time I saw that installation, I wouldn't have that gear in my shack, let alone on a mountain. And Dave was so happy we cleaned it up. He moved us in here and put all new hardline in for us.
Oh, yeah, I see. Nice.
But he was so happy that Fred and I brought it up to a professional standard. And that shelter that's there, he told me, is now what he's using for all of the stuff in Yelm, for all of TCOM's communications gear in Yelm.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I was in Yelm recently, and I was looking at that stacked dipole on the old water tower. All right, so this is our 220,
Yep,
and this is our 440,
yep,
and you're just doing the basic testing,
right,
transmit and receive, and you say it keyed,
right.
and
But see, it would key sometimes, and other times it wouldn't. And so there's something, it may be just flaky in the receiver, it's not hearing quite right, or
Right.
whatever. And then that's the fan out for the phone lines.
I'm seeing, yeah, 440 repeater, 220 repeater. What is that? Oh, the link.
The link.
So that's the audio link.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not paying attention to what I'm. Okay, so there's audio link. Sometimes I pay too much attention to what I'm looking at and not what I'm actually filming.
Yeah, that's the 440, the 220, and the audio.
Okay.
And those are the fan outs for the wiring. Because basically, are you at all familiar with phone wiring? If I said it was 4-wire E&M,
Yeah.
that's 4-wire E&M signaling.
Well, that's an old T1 we're taking it off
That's
of, so
exactly
it's
right.
going to be that, right?
Yep,
Converted to radio, 14 channels, all that.
yep. And you've heard a lot about 5G.
Yeah, I've heard, read, done some research.
Well, okay, 5G is more than just the phones that the cell phones that you're seeing at the end of it.
Well, I've gathered that it's quite a heavy
It's
reliance on
based an
some.
entire new switching technology called ATM, asynchronous transfer mode.
Which has been around for quite some time.
Well, it's taken that long. I was lecturing for Bell Lab, the operating companies, in the early 90s.
Right?
I was out telling people what was going to happen, and it's just
Yeah,
now.
you told me a few of those stories about that. That's
Yes.
quite interesting.
Yes, that's how long it's taking to deploy it into the structure. And they say, oh, well, the cell phones. Well, what it has done is it's basically enabled the capability of fiber to the home.
Right, right.
They can give you a very high-speed link. You add the cell phone, makes it easy. They don't have to pay for the wire.
Yeah, the last mile.
When AT&T broke up, it was because they wanted to. Because they got rid of all that buried plant, all that wire that was in the ground.
Yeah, right. That infrastructure that just gets old.
Well, and that's a problem.
I'm trying to figure out whose cabinet is this?
This is Fix 96.
Both of them, huh?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
it's their backup site.
Oh, okay. That's how much do you suppose this stuff costs a foot?
Oh.
Andrews, Heliax, coaxial cable, what do they call
this
that?
actually goes to Centralia, to Prigo Hill.
Oh, okay. All right, so there's some microwave.
Yep.
I can't tell from the size of those waveguides what frequency that is, though. That's going up to the dishes. What is that?
The Harris here.
Yeah. Oh, those are clamps for two different. Okay, all right. Just a hardware thing.
You
So-
used to work on radar?
Yeah. That's what the military trained me to do.
That's IT, or
Who's,
interstate transit.
That must be.
That's a transmit combiner. So that combines a bunch of VHF frequencies onto one antenna. Well, actually onto one,
Well, yeah, I
one
recognize.
output, which
Right.
then generally will go to the transmit port on a duplexer, unless you're using separate receive and duplex transmit. And then the units on the side with the heat sinks are your isolators.
Oh, okay. But I'm figuring from their size, they're what, 150 megahertz?
Yeah.
Probably Thurston County's public service stuff. This is what Jeremy's coming up to adjust when he has
These are our
it.
220.
Yeah, those are our
220 duplexes down there. And then the UHF is up on top, very small.
Right, yeah. Now, what I've never seen is a 6 meter. Apparently, they're huge.
Yes, they are. My duplexer is about the size of that black box.
Okay,
My big
sure.
one on Grass Mountain. However,
Right?
I do have a notch style duplexer on Capitol Peak, and it's about that wide, that tall, and that thick, wall mounted.
Oh, okay. Which
But-
building is that in?
That's in the new building.
Oh, okay. Haven't been over there.
Second floor in the new building. First floor is Dave Taylor's stuff.
Right.
Second floor, there's Hams and other people up there. So I think the
That's where
what's that, coast to coast?
BeachNet Capital Beach is
BeachNet,
located up there with us.
Oh, is that right? Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a couple of other, and there's INX, K5 INX, I think has a repeater up there.
Okay. On my way up, I was talking to the PNW, the wetnet.org or .net. Yeah, wetnet.net. I was talking to the guy who puts repeaters all around here, and I got his call sign in the car. Because we were just, he was on 220, and they were all hooked up, and I
Yeah.
was on
Oh, yeah.
440 off of Capitol Peak as well. And I'd never
He used to
met
be on
him.
the, WetNet.
He knew you.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's, you know.
Okay, yeah, I used to go to their meetings all the time. Dwayne Brayford and I used to go to their meetings all the time.
Right.
Once
Yeah.
a month.
He was saying he wanted, the guy I was talking to, who, I'm sorry I can't remember his call sign, but I did write it down. He said he wants to put a repeater up here. All right. Well then, I'm going to stop videoing here for a second because I think I've got enough of an idea what's going on. You're prepared to measure output from the 440?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not going to run this silly camera the whole time. I just want to be able to show somebody else what goes on up here.
See, in our 2-meter machine is another one of the old GE Master.
Yeah, the Master 2s, right.
We're only putting out 10 watts on the repeater, and I thought we had that more like 25, didn't we?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to pause this because I want to pay.
Now, when you were hearing it, did you fly in or was it going to you? It was pretty well when we were here. Okay, let's look at a couple of other things that were up here.
Now we're behind.
Can you hit two from in here?
I haven't got.
That's the 440. This is the 220 power amp coming out of there. And this set.
A new radio? I haven't used it in quite a while. I'm sure I have it.
Well, this is the line that
Oh,
goes
here it
out
is. Here we are.
for the 220. 'Cause these are the 220 down
Okay,
here.
we're keying up, just keep hold it. What do we have the timeout set on this thing? Huh?
I don't know what that is.
10 minutes.
Are you still holding it?
I am now. I let it go.
Oh,